Hey, this is Victor Font. It's June 8th at 9:51 p.m. In Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm just about finished with playing around with some code tonight. And I thought I'd share a little debugging trick that I use that's going to help you write much better code. I'm creating a new application for Formidable Mastermind, sole proprietor expense tracking. Basically, it puts together a Schedule C for you at the end of the year. It's something that I use myself. And there's a reason behind it, but I'm not going to go into those details here. The application is growing. I've been playing around with dynamic fields a lot and experimenting with some of the things. So I have this transactions form that I have a couple of dynamic fields on it. And I was playing around with maybe merging these two together, but I have them working as cascading dynamic fields, which is probably the easiest way to do cascading fields ever that Formidable has invented. I also have some other stuff. Maybe this is going to be another video for tomorrow, where we have some regular drop-downs in which I'm using some jQuery to calculate on the fly renewal date if you have a subscription that you're paying for. And you also have the capability of dynamically changing the subscription periods here because it's a separate value drop down. So that's going to be a jQuery lesson, but that's for another night. Tonight I want to focus on PHP because a lot of what we do on the back end using actions and filters is done using PHP. So I wanted to play around with setup for new vars, new fields vars. And I was going to customize the dynamic field, DFA. And this code was copied pretty much right out of Formidable's knowledge base with some changes that I make for everything I ever bring out of Formidable's knowledge base. First of all, I base all of my field lookups based on field key as per the art and soul of software portability, who yours truly authored a while back. I think it's a key factor in writing good code is to use field keys and forget about field IDs. I also use a tool called Kint. I'm going to share that one with you here. Kint PHP debugger from Tanya Mork. Hello from Tanya. She was one of my mentors when I was learning the Genesis framework way back in the day. She kind of rolled off, went on to WordPress core team and has been working on Gutenberg and full site editing. And this code has not been updated in quite a while. If you download it and you're using PHP 8 or higher, this code won't run. You're going to get some errors. I have a version of Kint that I use daily. I've already updated it for of her plugin. I've updated it for PHP 8, and I will include a link to that Kint download so that you can use it for yourself, and it will work with PHP 8 and higher. So what I'm doing is I use the Genesis framework. I mentioned that when I was learning that. I still do, although I am transitioning everything over to full site editing. When you use the Kint debugger, you only have to remember two functions, D and DDD. D is going to do, think of it as a display point. It's going to throw whatever the value that you are asking it to represent. It's going to just throw it up on the screen in a drop-down, and you'll see that in a second. It can also test logic. So when you're writing code and you want to include logic or test logic, this is the way you're going to do it. You put your sections of logic into a Kint D function, and it will evaluate the object and show you true or false. So you're testing your logic. Now, there's nothing more important when writing a callback to a filter or a function or a action than to test the parameters. What is Formidable actually passing to you, to your callback, that you can use to your advantage? So we take a look at what the values are and what the field is, the field parameter. And then if I do some processing, I'll throw another Kint line in there to see, okay, what happened when I ran form pro dynamic fields, controller, get independent options, so on and so forth. Let's see what that output is. So you can test the output. And then you can even add Kint into your loops, your for each loops. And then finally, I pause all execution. That's what DDD hits. It's just a break. Don't do anything else until I get a chance to really review the screen. So what we do, we come over here. I already ran it. It stops on the field that I'm looking for. There's my field ID, the Schedule C category that I'm working with. Here's that logic that I wanted to test, returning true, so I know that my if statement is functioning right. And then we take a look at the values, because the values array, now notice 80 members in that array. This is what's being passed back to Formidable. This is what you can manipulate. Any field in here that you have access to, you can manipulate and pass it back to Formidable. So there's all different things. There's all the options in the dropdown, the dynamic list dropdown, and their values in the database. You can change the required field. Here's your field key. You could change the field order, how it appears on the front end, the form, in what order. So is the form embedded? Look at all the different information that is available. Then you have admin only. And then a lot of this, you even have the custom HTML that's used when the field, the real HTML is generated for the front end. Field is the same thing. And then in this case, I'm not going to go through all this, but field, I think, is almost every value here is also replicated in the values array. So that's the one thing that I've noticed. So now field ops is the result of my manipulations, my processing, and then we see the final values. And in this case, they're going to be identical because I'm not doing anything right now to process. In fact, the code that you're looking at, I'm not even going to use. I was just using it as a trial. So that's the end of it. So I would encourage you, download Kint. It's really easy to use. It's going to really open up your eyes to what's going on inside of Formidable when you're testing your code for your clients. So wish you all the best. Let me take that out so it doesn't run anymore. Save my functions, and I'm going to say good night.